Hi guys, welcome back to the shed. It's the first video of 2020. I hope you had a good Christmas and a happy new year. This is the first video. As you can see by the title, there is some exciting news. I'll put that at the end of the video, but there's a timestamp here if you want to watch that part and not this part. But this video is going to be a shop tour of my shed to show you sort of what my setup is. And it's not much, but obviously people have been asking for it, so I'll just show you what I have where and how I store things, and we'll get right to it. I just wanted to remind everyone that I am working with Lumberjack Tools at the moment for a 5% discount for all my viewers. If you use MAT005DIY at lumberjacktools.co.uk, you'll get 5% off all their products on their store, so go check them out. So it's evening now. It's a bit noisy because there's construction and the road next to it. But this is the outside of my shed. It's just a 10 by 8 shiplap shed with the interior half done in MDF. But just to sort of show you that it's not a massive shop. It's a little shed, so anyone can do this if you've got the space for a shed like this. So I'm just going to start sort of roughly in this side, and we'll work round in a clockwise direction. But starting with this wall, I literally just got the few clamps I have. My Craig Aki cut jig, another Craig jig, and just that's where I keep everything. I know it's there, and it's literally just like this sort of crappy shelf, and that's it, simple as. If I come and move the camera down, you'll see this is sort of where I keep my wood. It's mainly scraps. I've got a bit of metal here as well in the bag, but it's mainly just offcuts. I can't fit a sheet there. There's some ply, MDF, there's even some plasterboard, and then I've just got some really small offcuts down here. And next to that on the floor, I don't know if you can see that there, I keep my air compressor down here. It's the most convenient place because a lot of the time I'm wheeling it outside to go and do garden stuff outside. So it's a convenient place, and that's all the space I've got for wood. I do need to make a sort of like a shop cart thing to keep all my wood, just the scraps, maybe with some drawers or something, but that's the best place to put it. So moving around a bit, as you'll know this, if you've watched my videos before, this is the background of most of my intros and stuff. This is my workbench. It's quite a long one. I've got this, I can't remember, I think I got this on Amazon. It just holds a load of screws, a load of drill bits. It's really cluttered. Another thing I've got a saw, and I've just got a few bits on the wall, a set of chisels. I keep all my glues and a few cans of spray paint up there, and I've just got some screws to hold my tapes. I've got my drill charger, some tapes, and then I've just got some small bits and bobs on the bench that I reach for regularly or I couldn't find a place for anywhere else. Moving down the bench a bit more, you'll also have seen this in the back of my videos. I've just got some boxes stacked up because, again, I didn't have much else where else to put them. But my Craig jig is here, just some screwdriver bits, my nail gun box. I've got some gloves, anvil, a plane, my shop heater, which is just like a little fan. I actually had someone ask me about this. It's just a basic heater. It doesn't heat up the workshop that much. And then in the corner over here, I've just got some paint. Obviously that shelf is quite small, but I've got a few spray cans and pots of paint, and that's about it for that end. So what we're going to do now is move down, and I'll show you what's under the bench. So I'm down on the floor now. It's a bit awkward to film this, trying to get in frame, but this is under my bench. So I'll just show you sort of what I keep stored under here. I've just got this big sort of like boxy crate that's just got some masks and some welding gear in it. Under here is actually my welder. It's a Clark Weld MIG 106. Really good welder. I do need to do a review on that. I've done a few metal projects that I haven't done videos on, unfortunately, but I'm just learning sort of how to weld, so I don't want to show my awful welding skills and put people off. Then moving to the side of that, I have my Stanley sorting rack. So I just made some shelves, and I've got a load of drill bits, spanners, I've got a load of screws as well. So that was actually a really good project, that really helped me out. And then the rest of it's sort of just a clutter under this bit. I've got some Ethernet cable, some paint pots, a bag of IKEA fixings, some rubber bag. I do need to build some drawers here. I have been meaning to get round to that, but I know where everything is. You just sort of stuff it away, and I've got into the habit of out of sight, out of mind, so I do need to sort that. But if I move you down a little bit quickly, we move down here. I have some more paint pots, and these are my plastic drawers. I've had this since the start of the shed, and these are basically just like what I don't need right away, but it's good to have in a drawer somewhere. So most things that I need to hand are above bench, but little bits and bobs. So I've got a decorating drawer, a drawer for all my instruction manuals and tool bits. I've got a sanding drawer, and then in this big drawer, I won't pull it out now, but I've got my routers and an angle grinder in there. And then just in front of that, I have my Clark disc and belt sander, and then I've naughtily stuffed a load of stuff down the side because, like I said, out of sight, out of mind. But I really do have to sort that out. But it is what it is. It's a working shed, I guess. It's not as pretty as some of the workshops you see, but this is how I do it. Everything's got its place, and I know where it is. And I will get round to sorting some drawers out. But with the bandsaw right next to it, it's hard to make big drawers. So, but we'll move round to the back of the shed now, and I'll show you that. So back up above the benches now. At the back of my shed is where I keep my bandsaw, and you would have seen that if you've watched any of my videos. I've got a few things hanging on the wall. I keep the bandsaw at the back of the shed because to stand and use it, if I put it at the sides, I'd get a bit too close to the ceiling, and it still gives me enough room at the back to run things through it. And I'm mainly only cutting small bits on it anyway. I haven't done a review on this. It is a Fox bandsaw that I bought from Charnwood, I believe, or Poolwood, one of the two. I think it's, I don't know what you call it, it's about 10 inches, I think. Really good bandsaw. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Under it, I keep my Evolution saw that I only ever bring out every once in a while now to cut my metal bits. So I keep that under there. And over here, a bit of a relic. It's a really old Clark wood turning lathe that I haven't used in a long time. It was gifted to me from a friend who didn't use it and didn't have the time, and it turns out neither did I. So it's just been getting dusty, but I really need to start using that again. And then we'll move over to the next part of the shed. So if you've watched some of my latest videos, and even if you're a new viewer, this is my lumberjack saw. This was given to me at a discount from Lumberjack Tools, so there is a new video up, and I'll leave a link to this down in the description, especially because this is one of my best tools and I'm really happy with it. It's a Lumberjack 12-inch miter saw, and I keep it over here on this bench. I kept it on this bench because this bench is a little bit higher and a little bit shorter. It can be a bit of a problem when I'm trying to cut longer bits, and I end up hitting this wall, but it's the best place I've got for it at the moment. I want to build like a miter saw station because that's what everyone has. Not that I necessarily need one, but they're cool. I've got some screws and blades back there because they're too big to fit anywhere else. And next to it, this is sort of like the lumberjack bench, is I've got my lumberjack drill press just sat back there, and I can just pull that forward when I need it. Under the bench, again, a bit of a mess. I've just got a load of toolboxes with tools in, so like some hobby tools, jigsaw, all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, this is sort of my miter saw station really. That's mainly what this is used for. All the stuff underneath doesn't really come out, and I use the drill press now and again. So the last sort of quarter of my shed, if you were to split it up into 4 parts, is where I keep my table saw. It's a bit cluttered at the moment because I've had to move some stuff around, and I'm in the process of getting rid of this hoover and stuff. But this is where I use my table saw. So my table saw's on wheels, and I just wheel it around like that, and I use this space. At the moment I'm just storing some plywood, some sheet material stuff that didn't fit over in my wood bit. I've got the stand for my DeWalt saw, which I really need to find somewhere else for, because ever since I made that stand, I really haven't used it. So what would be better is to move all that stuff and have a nice big open area to use my table saw. But because I've got some longer bits, I think that bit of plywood's like a full sheet, but it's only about 40 centimetres wide. It has to go down the back of the shed like that. But that's sort of the last quarter. I've just got some, and I've got an old saw blade hanging up here, and I've got too many hacksaws that I know what to do with. And I don't know if you can see, but on the back of the door there, let's move you up. I've just got some hand saws and a few axes. I don't know why I've got these, but I do. And they just sit down there just in case, because you never know what you might need them for. So that sort of concludes this area and the 4 quarters. There's also a video of this table saw up on my channel. It's the DeWalt DW 745. Yep, the DW 745. Really good video on this. It was my review. I really like this saw, so go and check that out as well. Pretty much most of the tools you've seen will have a review on my channel, so go and check those out. That might seem a bit rushed, but it was just a really quick overview of my shed. It's not particularly exciting, that's why I didn't go into much detail about all my bits and bobs, but everything's got its place, and it just sort of shows you that you don't need a massive shop to do good projects. I've built some really good projects in this little shed. It's just about optimizing and having things that you can grab at hand, like these drawers down here. I put stuff in there that I don't need to grab, but when I'm working on something and I need a quick screw or a new drill bit or a chisel, it's right there to grab. I do want to put a French cleat system on here. I just haven't been able to get round to it, so hopefully this sort of gives you some ideas of how my shop works, and how you can optimize a small space as best as possible. It is super cluttered, so try better than me to organize, and it really does help your projects flow better. But I hope you enjoyed this in terms of a shop tour. I guess that's what everyone's doing at the moment, and I thought I would do it. And the next thing you'll see is my exciting news, so stick around. And by stick around, I mean it's going to be right after this clip. So on to exciting news. So the reason I wanted to do this shop tour, I have seen a lot of people doing them on YouTube, obviously starting 2021. A lot of them tidy up their shed and then they do the shop tour and say, like, oh look. But the reason I wanted to do the shop tour is for 2 reasons. First, I had quite a few comments of people asking me just to show where I put things and just a general shop tour, because I assume they've got shops as well, like little sheds, and they wanted to see how I set mine up because they don't have big shops either. So, but the second reason is my exciting news. I'm getting a new workshop, so this shed is going to be torn down, which makes me a little bit sad because I don't know, this has been here for six years I think when I first got this, and I had a little like Power 8 all-in-one toolkit, but I've slowly gained more tools and done little bits of bobs, and I started my YouTube channel. But I will be expanding, so it will still be here, it will still be in the same spot, but it will be more like a proper building, not too much bigger, a little bit that way, because I've got a little bit of garden left on this side of the wall, and it will be a bit taller because, as you can see, I can't actually stand over in these corners, so it'll be a bit taller and some better lighting, and I should just have a little bit more space, which will help film with the clutter, because I've currently got more tools than I know what to do with. So that's sort of, it's exciting to me. It might not be exciting to you, but that's my exciting news. So also sort of a heads up, I won't be having as many projects at the moment, but I will still try and do some tool reviews, and I will actually try and do sort of a build series, just going through and showing the progress, and I might do a few little like vlogs to show progress on the shop and how it's going up and how it's being built, and then sort of people can take away from that and maybe they want their shop to sort of be the same. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you stick around to see what the shop's going to look like. It's January now. It should start in maybe a week or 2, and it should be done not soon after, because it's not going to be a massive build. I'm having builders in, I'm not doing it myself, But I will be documenting it, and hopefully you guys can enjoy that process too. So stick around, leave a comment down below, a like and a subscribe. And just as I said at the start of the video, I am working with Lumberjack Tools still. They gave me a code MAT005 DIY. I really had to think about that. Lumberjacktools.co.uk. I'll leave it on the screen for a little while. Go and check them out. They've provided me with some amazing tools, and I've also bought a lot of their tools as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a good year, and I really hope you enjoy what projects I'm going to be doing on the channel throughout 2021.